Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's Danny Limelight. And I need all of you to subscribe to According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and all other platforms.
What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and I have the honor and privilege of talking to my brother. He is a member of the Badger crew at CSW, that's Combat Submission Wrestling. He is the one and only Slick Nick Patea.
How we doing? We out here. You know, man, Adam, I kill this thing. Gonna dive into all this. So let's go. Let's not waste time.
Let's go, man. But I mean, first and foremost, how in the fuck are you, my friend?
I'm great now. I feel like a bunch of stuff went on last year for not just me, but with a lot of people. Everyone kind of, did their own thing. A lot of people lost lots of friendships, relationships, all this. But I feel like since this year, I just refuse to have anything sort of that last year. So whatever type of bad energy or bad shit that happened last year, I'm just gonna leave it there. And since I've done that, the ball has been moving.
That's
great.
No, 100%. And Cliff chiming in over on YouTube. He says, yes, sir.
So,
shout out to.
He's already here. That's crazy. You've only been here for 2 minutes.
Cliff don't waste no time. He ain't about that bullshit. So shout out to Cliff, right? And everybody that's watching here. But yeah, and that's the thing. And maybe the Melanesian, maybe it's a Polynesian in us. Like you're repping Hawaii, I'm repping Fiji, and what have you, right?
Oh, but yeah, we repping islands. I know.
Yeah, absolutely. Wait, which island?
We like American Samoa.
American Samoa, yes. So Oos.
Patea. What up, Oos?
What up, Oos? What up, Oos?
I don't want to call nobody out, but we island boys anyway. So
that's it, man. And what's funny, right? The fact that we're here, the fact, and you know what it is. Yes, chiming in over on Twitch, so thank you. So yeah, man, that's the thing, and it's funny because to come from small islands, right, and a lot of people don't understand it, but I mean, of course, people will come from Mexico, people will come from, different parts of the world, Sweden, what have you, right? And they're infinitely bigger than our small island. So for us to hit it on mainland and to be doing this thing, I mean, when I was kind of coming up through my fandom and everything, obviously, you had like in boxing, you had David Tua. When you look into professional wrestling, the Anoa'i family, that's like paramount, and high chief.
Bro, you got Bless Holloway. Come on.
Yes.
Bro. Come on. And you got I know you a WWE head, Roman Reigns. Come on.
Yeah.
It's all coming. And that's even saying all everyone. And I think so much, I feel like over the last couple of years, sticking to your culture, people have, even me, I've been more proud of my culture. And maybe as younger, you don't want to be different, but as you start getting older, you want to show it out more. So I think even, you see Conor McGregor is always super into his thing. So people see, lots of, and Israel Adesanya with Nigeria. So
yeah,
it's really cool just to see the people of their own culture just being proud of their own culture.
No, absolutely. Which Ken Dronberg, and we got YouTube, we got Twitch, we got Facebook. He says, "Hey guys, shout out to Ken." Yes. And Ken says, "Where are you located?" And you're repping kind of like South LA County, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about location wise. All I know is Brea CSW, and we repping 100% that.
There you go.
Yeah. Brea Fullerton, I don't know. I don't live over there, but that's what I'm repping 100%.
No, 100% CSW in Fullerton, California, under the great Eric Paulson, Tanya Paulson, and of course the Badger, Ben Jones.
Glory to them.
Yes.
Without any of them, none of this is possible. So
absolutely. Aloha.
Get all into it.
That's it. No, and that's the crazy thing about it. You touched on, when we were young, not really, you were trying to assimilate, right? And that's something that I know all too well. I might have a tinge of my my mom's kind of British Commonwealth accent coming from Fiji, but dare it if I said it around her, because like when she came over in '82, it was essentially, taboo, right? My mom worked for a you know, pretty wealthy family, and she was a babysitter for one of the descendants. And I mean, they spat on her for sounding different. And she spoke English, right? The way that the people in England speak, right? But she looked like an American black woman and whatever. They didn't expect that from her, and it's like, unfortunately, she was just like every time my dad, who was born here, African descendant of slaves, here in America and what have you, my dad tried to teach like, and he wasn't even, that wasn't even his culture, but he tried to teach me and my sister, and my mom was like, she wasn't having it because in her mind, their father was American, they were born in America, and they would have the lives of Americans. And that's, and what an American means, like what that definition is, has
get the people mad, bro. Be careful.
I mean, it's up for representation, right? Essentially, and I think my sketchy artist puts it better than I could ever, but culture brings a unique way of thinking and character, right?
Man, you got a good little group here.
Dude, my peeps, dude, I support them, they support me, and much appreciated, So in terms of, let's take it back, right? Let's take it back to how Slick Nick, or the pre-Slick Nick Patea, started in the game of MMA. What was it that attracted you to the sport of kings?
The JIT days. Actually, I think I got thrown into it. I think we talked about this a little bit, but we're going to refresh over a little bit. Anybody that doesn't know, we'll take you through this a little bit. But I originally got thrown into Taekwondo around when 12 or 13. My parents threw it in because I was kind of a little kid, kind of just getting into a bunch of shit, doing stuff I'm not supposed to do. But so they threw me into Taekwondo for like discipline type thing. And I liked it, and even as I'm getting older, now I'm recognizing the only reason I liked it was because I would get attention from that. And growing up, all my sisters were killing soccer. They're still ballers. They balling. Shouts out to my sisters. I love it. But yeah, they're all ballers. So they grew up, and my parents were trying to make me, they're like, oh, my sister's good at it. He's going to be good at it. And I was terrible. Trash. So when I finally found something, I'm like, oh, at least I'm not bad at this. And then it's like, now I have my dad's attention. And then it's like, oh, if I just keep getting better, I could get more people's attention. And then it also like not makes me, it's like, okay, I don't need all this attention around the house because I'm gonna have attention in a month. You feel me? Like when we go do this, or attention at a practice, or attention here. So I think as a kid, it was more to get, my parents' attention. And it just turned out that, oh, I like it now that I'm good at it. And then it even turned into a thing for wrestling. And we get into a wormhole like we talked before. But it turned into a thing like this is the only thing I feel smart in. Like school is, and I'm not saying that school is stupid, because some people kill it at school, and that's y'all thing. But that's just not my thing. I have a hard time focusing. But this is the only thing, and I hate feeling dumb. So if I'm like, oh, he thinks he's gonna hit a jab on me, and I'm slipping and I'm ripping, then that makes me feel like, oh, like that. I get caught up in a little bit. I'm still trying to tweak some things, but it feels good, making even like, oh, I remember 4 years ago I couldn't throw a jab, and now I'm over here exchanging jabs, trying to jab Curtis Millender and Jake. So it's really cool how things are coming. Yeah, things came from wanting attention now I want to be the champion of the world of the UFC. So
yeah, I mean, and it puts it all into perspective, right? I absolutely understand that, right? I mean, I was the oldest, right? And especially, as a male, right? In our culture, essentially, it's not just your dad, but he's the chief. That's the chief. This is the village. That's the chief, right? So you want to do, I mean, even the most like craziest of warriors all throughout time. Spartacus was trying to get the praises of Julius Caesar and what have you. I might be messing with the time frame.
I'm picking up what you put down, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just go with that, right? Yeah. But I mean, even the like the most ardent of warriors have tried to get the honor of the liege, right? Of the, of whatever royalty that there is. And our parents are royalty in our culture, right? So the
Mhm.
fact that you you kind of went your own way, right?
Yeah.
Not doing soccer like your sisters and what have you. I totally identify with that because, like, I mean, I wasn't in. I think my parents both passed before I was even 30, right? So I got to 30 without both of my parents, and I didn't even start doing jujitsu until after they had passed away because I was wondering what they would think, right?
Yeah.
And as my mom, who really kind of raised me in the vein of doing the broadcasting thing, because her father in Fiji was the first Fijian born broadcaster, it was one of those things that I wish they could have seen it, right? And
Yeah.
I didn't, I couldn't really fight, despite growing up in Inglewood, right?
Mhm.
I couldn't, I didn't do backflips. I wasn't overly athletic. I
Yeah.
didn't sing. I didn't dance. I couldn't play, you know, musical instruments like my dad could or whatever. And I was so as a student, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't until my 30s that I figure out this is what I'm supposed to be
Yeah.
doing, so it takes a little time sometimes.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people trip on that, like a bunch. Like you think that you got to have it figured out, and even listening to that, like I don't know if I have it figured out. I might wake up at 25 and I'm like, I really don't want to get punched in the face every morning, and I'm not. And like if I did feel like that, I wouldn't waste anybody's. I wouldn't waste my coach's time. I wouldn't waste my teammates' time by giving them a half-ass effort. We're all there because we want to be there, and that's what our coach preaches to. Like, you don't have to be here. And every time he says it, I'm like, that's true. I woke up this morning, I came over here to do this. So, and same thing, like, but like I'm saying, if like you're 22, 23, even you say you didn't even figure it out till later. So it's like, and people, you don't really look at it like you're not even, if 50 is the halfway, you're not even at halftime yet. So just relax, it's just gonna come together. All you could do is control on the stuff that you could control. So
Ab- no, absolutely. And it's your boy Enzo over on YouTube saying Anaheim's most dangerous. Shout out to your boy
yeah,
Enzo.
lying. Anacrime's most dangerous. You heard?
And
That's my boy.
Tyson Duckworth from Alaska, the reigning Alaskan fighting champion, 145-pound champion, says, Catch Can Fight Club in the house.
Now,
Yes, shout out to Alaska and Catch Can Fight Club. And My Sketchy Artist says, Ha, genius reside in everyone. You just got to find what your genius is. No, 100%.
you.
My Sketchy Artist knows what's what, so obviously coming in, from a traditional martial arts, and essentially going into wrestling in your kind of high school years, right? But at what point do you go, hey, fighting? Because I mean, you could essentially do taekwondo, you can do karate and never actually get into a fight your life, because it's, again, much
Yeah.
like jiu-jitsu, right? You can compete. That doesn't necessarily mean you're fighting,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So at what point does it switch from I'm a competitor, right? And no less a beast. Yeah, I mean, wrestlers are probably the most dominant type of athlete there is, right? And a base of that can, I mean, it doesn't matter what else you do on top of that.
Mhm.
Wrestling, especially in MMA, is probably the greatest base that you could be, but it's a little bit different because the ref is hopefully, pulling you out of a wrestling meet if you're
Mhm.
punching somebody in the face, right? So
Yeah,
fighting is entirely different. So
yeah.
when does
And
it
it is so
change?
crazy. Well, that's such a good question because it's also like for something like fighting, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna fight now, because it's like when you fight, it's like you're fighting in front of your mom, you're fighting in front of your girlfriend, you're fighting in front of your friends, right? So you don't fight unless you think you're gonna win. Then that and you don't win unless you train, right? So that's even like, okay, do I really want to put in this work? But then I was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like it was more of like I don't want to regret not trying to fight. And that was really like I was like, oh, I know when I'm like when I'm 30, I'm not going to be able to try this. Like I could try to do on something, and I could try to still learn, the art of it, but I won't be able to, to fight at such a level of like of the UFC level. And I think that, like, to say, like, I do like to fight, but like I said earlier, I really like to outsmart people more than I like to fight, if that makes sense. Like, I want to be one of the smartest fighters, and I want to enjoy the stuff that I have from it. But it's just, I think the switch was like, I just don't want to be normal. And I think that shit's just so boring. Like, I couldn't be, and I didn't want to be like, I just didn't want to piggyback off of, my dad has a lot of success, but that was also from a bunch of hard work. My mom has a bunch of success, and that's from hard work. And I know I could have gotten connections somehow, or, worked my way into some type of thing and had good money, and I would have been fine. But it's just like, this is my own thing, I love that not many people could do it. And a lot of people think that they could do it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
when they come down and you in the gym and there's nobody watching for, even the whole quarantine time, you have to train this whole time. You want to be one of these people when it comes back that you're like, damn, they trained during quarantine, huh? Like, you don't want to be, it's like, they had a bad 2020 probably. Like, and that's what we do at CSW. So it's like, I've seen a lot of people that's like, oh, I want to be a fighter. Never mind, I'll come later, or and so it is a big switch, and it's took a lot of, like, questioning, even like, after every loss. And it's really not, I don't want to come off like it's been such a long journey. It's only been 4 years, but like, as like an 18-year-old, when you're losing or you're getting choked out, like, it is a lot of humiliation that you have to deal with, and a lot of adversity that you have to overcome. But
No.
I just don't like being like, and I don't like being scared of people. So if I know how to mix real good, you better grab some friends, or you better grab something else. Because if we duking it, you and me, and I'm over here trying to train with my coach that's over 200 pounds. Get out of here, bro.
Yeah. No, 100%. And it's and especially, you talked about your mom and dad's success, right? And you and your sister's success. That's a whole lot of pressure that one can put on themselves. And you could have easily went into, again, you did the soccer deal. You could have basically rested on your mom and dad's hard work and done that and been fine, right? Theoretically speaking, right? But especially when it comes to athletics, right? Like, you can, I think Gabe Rudinger, of the WEC, and Tachi Palace veteran and head of Kaiju MMA, which I had on earlier today, he basically said, you could go to school a little bit later. You can have a relationship a little bit later, right?
Yeah.
But once you hit your athletic peak, once you've peaked, that's about it, and of course you could go lift weights and everything. You could do that until you're dead in the ground, right? But like, actually to compete at a high level, you only have this time, because we see it even with legends, skilled fighters, right? We saw it this weekend in Florida, where James Vick got knocked the hell out, right?
Yeah.
And imagine how much knowledge in as many fights as James Vick has had, right? And the knowledge is there, but your body just can't get there anymore.
Yeah. And I wanted to get to that point, like, I want to kill it before it kills me. And you're gonna get got, but I'm trying to get mine before I get got. You feel me? So where's some Marshawn Lynch? I'm just trying to run through them before they run through me.
Yeah,
and I know I'm gonna get ran through, and I'm totally cool with that. And I think that's what you need. Like, if you're not cool with, you gotta live by the sword and you die by it. And if you ain't okay with dying by it, then when you die by it, you finna be out, because it's really not a game for like, you can't play boxing, you can't play MMA. You could, your brain finna be dust in the end 10 years later. You don't have nothing to enjoy.
Yep. Morgan Patea, shout out to Morgan. There's no fear.
No fear. You ain't fearing nobody.
No. Which I got to shout out. Talk about hashtag no fear. I got to shout out to the Redditors, for taking down Wall Street and everything like that. Talk about getting ran through. Yeah. Let's go.
I ain't gonna cap. I don't know too much about none of these stocks, so I don't want to dip into any of it. But if you guys do, slide in my DMs. Guys.
Yeah. Oh, then, man, I should have been been doing that, good
Warrior
sir.
spirit.
But you gotta find that warrior spirit, 100%. So, I mean, did you have a striking discipline? You have a a grappling discipline, right? And that's better than a lot of people when they first start out, right? So now that you have this on essentially, in your satchel of things that you can contribute, things that you've been through, how does the process of getting into a gym and eventually CSW happen? Did you slide right into CSW, or did you kind of you figure it out, different gyms around?
Gosh, that was hard. Like I'm not trying to gas CSW. Like I'm really not. Like this is the God honest truth. I came from All In, and All In was good, and I'm not trying to talk no trash on nobody. So nobody, don't even try to come in my DMs acting all hurt because I'm really trying not to. So, anyways, I had really good training partners at All In, but towards like 2 or 3 years, it kind of started falling apart. I wasn't sure too much of it was with coaching or it was just people were just kind of doing their own thing, and so I was like, and I think I lost 2 fights, maybe 1 fight or 2 fights, and then I was like, I just think I need more training partners. So my head coach, Coach Mike Rush, shout out, he put me on a lot. He put me on to Coach Ben, and he's like, oh, you go to try CSW. So I went over to CSW, and and I didn't know this. Nobody knows this, and I don't want to expose it too much because it's kind of an unwritten thing. But they go a little bit harder, for the new guys to make sure that you're prepared, right? A little bit harder to where I was like, oh, I'm going to quit. I thought I was really good. Like you said, I thought I did have a good striking. I did have good grappling to me. And I'm getting in here and I can't tell who's an amateur and who's a pro. I asked this dude if he was a pro and he hasn't fought yet. So, and it wasn't even like, oh, it was like, but it was just like round after round, they're coming for you. It really felt like a Shark Tank. And I felt like they could smell the blood. They could smell when I was getting weak. So I felt like I was getting all my fresh rounds with hard people, and then right when I was getting like, and I don't know, like that's what I'm saying is I was scrambled eggs, and I was really like, oh, I thought I was good, and I went home and I would talk to my mom, talk to my dad, and I was all like, these dudes don't like me, and you bro, like I'm pretty like straight up,
Chill.
I'm talkative, like I talk
Yeah.
especially when I'm nervous, so. I think probably for a month I was like pretty quiet because I was like, I don't want nobody to get the wrong idea about me. They seem pretty serious. They do like 3 sessions a day, some of them. And but I wanted to go there because I was like, I am kind of scared by this gym. I was supposed to fight Joey Dorado, and I actually pulled out because I couldn't make the weight. Like I was like, oh, I'm not gonna lie. I can't make 35, so. But even when I was facing Joey Dorado, or in my mind when I was going to face Joey Dorado, I was like, this one's going to be hard. So I always even had them on the map. So it was just like to go to CSW, it was really just a whole nother level. And to be honest, I'm keep on scrambling because I forgot what the question was.
No, that's it. I mean, and I think you've pretty much answered it pretty well. And there's the synergy, right? To synergistically work with the team. Sometimes it takes a little time, right? And again, there's no disrespect. I mean, I love All In. I love Mike Rush. Mike Rush is probably one of the most straight up dudes that there is, right? But I mean, if it just isn't conducive to the way that you learn, right?
Exactly.
You could go to work, you can walk into CSW, you can go into Jackson Wink, you could walk into Black House or whatever elite gym that you want to think of, right? And it might not be a fit for you.
Yeah.
And that's it. And essentially, as a fighter, you are essentially entrusting your life. Your life essentially to your coach's game plan, right?
Yeah.
So you need to know that they have your back regardless, that this fits, that they know what you're thinking, and until you find that, I mean, that's kind of half the battle. You talked about weight cuts and the potential fight of Joey Dorado before you got to CSW, and it's just like, everybody talks about weight cutting as one part of the puzzle, right? And one part of the fight. It's a fight within itself, right? But then, even before that, finding a gym, finding a nutrition plan, finding all of the things that work for you. That's why like the James Vick thing is
Yeah.
so crazy, because like at a time where skill set wise and like everything like that,
But
you bring it all together,
yeah.
but your body just cannot do it anymore.
Yeah, with Coach Ben, the thing is like you said, I do trust him 110%, and we're just going to branch into this. But I'm making my pro debut. I know you heard about it. I know some people on here heard about it, and if you didn't hear about it, you just heard about it. So, yeah, we coming here the 25th, I believe, of February, but in Tijuana, and there's no fans, and I ain't gonna get in all to the little stuff. I'm not even sure if I can, but even with Coach Ben. Like and my teammate, shouts out to Richie, he's also fighting the same week in Nebraska. So we had to figure out, where's Coach gonna go. And Richie's fight was talked about before mine, and Coach was like, like I don't know if you were okay with me going to Richie and you not have me in your corner. And to be honest, I was like, I just want to fight so bad. Like I'll go over there by myself. Like, and I know that like he wouldn't do that, but it was just like in my mind, it was just like, oh, I'm ready. But even like then like we got off the phone and I was just like, oh, like it is feel like even more secure with Coach there. But as these weeks have gone by, and he's even like giving me the whole regimen, like this what time you got to get here, this what time you got to get here again, this what time you got to get here again, and then he sent me another regimen of my whole diet, and that like he does everything 110%. And he even does the workouts with me, and if he doesn't do the workouts with me, he watches me do the damn workout. And that's what Coach, like I couldn't ask for a better coach. And so that's all like that's the only thing that like I'm so like die hard for this, because it's like he doesn't even do that just for me. He does that with him and him and him and him and him and him. And it's like, bro, all you got to do is show up and put it in. Like, don't put in some bullshit.
Yeah.
Because one that can smells it. You feel me? So it's really like you go put in the effort and you show you want to be there, and he's gonna be there. And especially when it's your time, like I've seen him be there, and I've seen it where I haven't put in too much effort and him help out other people, or even and that's makes me like, oh, I need to work harder. I need to because I'm not doing something right. And even if that's not the case, that's how you should feel. Like you should feel like you want to just get all that right. But he's such a good coach, and so we decided he's going to go with Richie, and Jake is going to go with me to Tijuana. We're going to take Tijuana over. They're going to go take Nebraska over. We're going to come over here and we're going to pop some bottles, and we're going to go crazy for a little bit and get back on it. And the Army's going to take over Utah, I think, April, March, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Badger Crew taking everything over, so it's really crazy because I told you, all of us left 2020 left it back in the burners. We had, little issues everywhere, but, we kind of let that shit there, and we were just trying to focus on one thing, and that's fighting. And we can't be good if, we aren't all good. Like, it does no good if you don't show up to practice. And I swear, I know I'm talking so much. I'm just excited.
No, absolutely.
We have so many people in the damn gym. We have to do people all in the cage, all in the boxing gym, all in the. We got 27 heads. So and it's really cool seeing, other people from other gyms. I don't know if they want me to shout them out, so I won't. But we have, a couple other players coming in the ball game. I know we have another players that want to come join us. But right now we're killing the game, and it's really gonna come together.
No, I absolutely love it. And Cliff says, "Keep it banned, Slick Nick. Keep it banned."
Come
there
on.
It is. And Diana Padilla says, "Slick Nick's #1 fight right here."
She right here. She had an interview.
Shout out to the sis, Diana.
#1 fan. Come on.
And then my sketchy artist says, "Fear is nothing to be afraid of. Use the fear to drive to be stronger as a motivator, and eventually you'll stop fearing itself." Yeah, man. Which I gotta ask, right? I mean, you're so hyped for this fight on February 25th, But I mean, when was the last time that you fought?
I believe the 1st of February. So today.
So it's been 1 year.
1 year, yeah, and that was the Metroflex one for the belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, a year ago today.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And it's crazy because I've the only thing I've been able to watch is my last fight, you know. So, and I've been trying to record a little bit of rounds at sparring, but it's a little bit not the same. But it's just a whole nother dog. Like I'm really trying to finish people now. I'm really trying to, and not even no disrespect to my teammates because they're supposed to try to finish me too. And if they're not, they should. Um, you know, we're trying to finish each other. That's what we're here for. I'm not trying to hurt nobody, but if I'm trying to land a good body shot, I'm trying to land just a little sting right here, just to get you a little off balance to see if I got it. And I'm starting to understand a little bit. Jake has taken me under his wing a lot. Coach has taken me under his wing a lot, and a lot of my teammates have been here for me for my camp. And so it's going to be good to drop this little fool out here in Tijuana, and just show off for my team.
I love it. I love it. And I mean, the Jake that you're talking about is none other than LFA veteran. And I mean, he just pulled off a win not too long ago, but the little Badger, Jake Rosales. So shout out to Jake and Alandria.
I don't think a lot of people don't give him his respect. And I think it bugs him a little bit. And it would bug me too, because I think a lot of people don't understand how great he really is. And I mean, just come to CSW at 9 if you want. You gonna see. I swear, he an animal, and I'm not trying to ride nothing like that. But I really do strive to. He's just mean, and he carries that too. He carries a dog, and I want to bite the same, I guess.
No, for sure. You know, and again, if you're not trying to do that, you know, in this game, you could take your licks, you know, in the gym and what have you, right, and come out better because of it. But when you get into a fight where there's real world consequences, you can get knocked out, you could get KO'd. You're literally taking your career and your life on the line. You want to know that you're doing the best that you can do to secure that victory.
Of course, like, and that's what Coach and Richie were talking about today. Like the only way we're gonna like really, you know, be ready is if you do like put in all this work. And me and Richie have honestly, like, to me, this is the most, like, I always feel like, oh, this is the best camp. This is the best camp. This is the best camp. But I really feel like I have such a long day. It feels like I'm going from 9 to 5. And I felt like, oh, I never wanted 9 to 5. I'm over here doing 9 to 5 for training. So I shot myself in the foot on that one, but but it's really something that I'm seeing. I'm seeing like, oh, I'm really not getting that tired, and we're doing 5 minutes. So and I'm super excited just to go out there and do it. And I'm just a little disappointed that nobody could see it live because it's actually
is there
to see it live because it's finna be a murder. I ain't finna lie.
Yeah, murder and TJ. That's probably never happened ever, right? Never.
Never before.
Shout out to TJ. I mean, dude, chihuahuas and chiclets and everything like that. Shout out to
all the heads go there.
Bomb tacos and shit. So shout out to TJ. I mean, now here's the other thing, right? So obviously 2020, right? You fought literally a year ago today, right? For a title. And shout out to the McKees, Antonio and AJ and Tracy Hess at Knockout Promotions. I mean, theoretically speaking, you might have wanted to do a couple more fights and maybe turn pro or what have you. So what has it been, you know, out of necessity? And I'm hearing it a lot. Heard it from your teammate, Alandria Brown. You know, like a lot of amateurs around, not just here in SoCal, but around like literally the world are turning pro because there aren't any amateurs.
Yeah. For me personally, I did want to go pro after that one because like the only guys I do want to like to go against are the better guys. And I wasn't sure if Ferris was going to take me again, or if so-and-so is going to take me. Like, I'm not going to go around and try to chase you and do all that. So I want to fight. I only want to fight good guys. And I hope I see Ferris again. And and to be honest, I don't really like him. I want to mix him. So if you want to make your debut, you know, I'm finna be 1-0 after this. We could mix it up too. But yeah, and I want to run it with Danny again. I actually like Danny. He's my dog. He be training a little bit, but I wanted to go against all these hard dudes in the Emmys on purpose that I might see again. And so it's really cool. And I know that Alandria wanted to probably get another couple in. I know another guys want to get a couple in, and it really sucks and it sucks for the guys that are in there in our gym because they're putting in pro work. They are really putting in pro effort, and not even that. I'm like, oh, I know what pro effort look like, but I'm like, I think we all are. Like, it was what I mean. Like, we all are busting our ass, and so I think that we all do deserve to like, bro. I swear, if it was like, hey, do all you guys want to fight in a month, we would all sign that shit today. Like, and it just sucks because it's like we were really killing the game until this whole thing got on pause. And so I think we're just still trying to kill it and killing it, chopping it down slowly and on what we can get.
No, 1000%. And anybody that knows CSW, and I mean, this also speaks to, the willingness to get better, and be better, not just, in Coach Paulson's, both Tanya and Eric, and not just Coach Ben, but I mean, there's cross training that happens. There's cross training with the Pinnacle, and Jacob Bainey and, Jamal Emmers, and like there's cross training that goes on there that, I mean, like everybody gets a different look, even within the gym. Everybody has a different fight style. Nothing is like one size fits all in the gym, and that's one thing that, again, CSW and Eric Paulson, his entire career, he was fighting internationally and all that jazz before it was cool, before it was lucrative to do so. And he was taking literally all the best shit and like what makes a complete fighter in his mind. And yes.
Just taking all the good stuff and getting rid of the bad stuff.
Yeah, man. And it's just, I mean, it's incredible. And I'm like, duh, that you guys have had the success that you guys have had individually and as a team, because again, to come directly from that lineage, it's a no-brainer. But I mean, again,
it's crazy. Like, I don't think a lot of people know the lineage. And to be honest, last time I was on Gym Crashers, y'all caught me by surprise because I was a new CSW dude too. I didn't know about the lineage. So after that, I went to the gym and I was like, how we link with Bruce Lee? Like, y'all got to tell me right now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, a lot of people don't know that our lineage runs that deep. And I really do appreciate it. And I see these dudes putting so much work, and we all have gotten so much better. I wish I could just see them fight. Like, I wish I could be like, hey, $500 right now. Let's see who wins. And I just want to see y'all duke it out. Like, I really would, because they are like I wish I could shout out all my teammates right now. Y'all know that's basically a shout out right there. But yeah, I'm feeling the game. We just gonna turn it up.
No, 1000%. So I mean, in terms of this year, right, and not being able to train at your gym for the better part of all last year, right? So what was that feeling like to step back on the mats of CSW?
Well, it was really good. We always made it work. Like, we were going to parks, we were going to people's houses, we were going and, all right, we'll do groups at the gym at this time and groups at the gym at this time. Like, so it wasn't really ever, I really felt like we never really let off the gas. There was a time where it was like, oh, like people were sick, so now some people don't want to come, and we totally understood that. Nobody wants to step on each other's toes, but then we have fights. So that's where it was like super like, do we keep the ball moving? Do we just try to wait? And, everyone has a little bit of mixed feelings. But it was really good stepping back on the mat. Like, I felt like that real step was this year. Like, I felt like I wasn't super present. I wasn't super motivated. And, my coach could tell, my captains could tell. So I felt like a little reset of just the whole year. And I don't want to be the, new year, new me type thing. But it really was just like, I don't want another year of that. And it was just like, could have been whenever. But that's just when I was just like, all right. Like, and then still, like, I still have bullshit going on. I just don't let that bullshit affect me. Like, man, it's easier said than done, but it really is. We're putting in so much work. I don't have too much time to think about it.
No, and that's a good thing, and I want to touch on that point, right? Not even knowing that you guys are directly I mean, like have the same lineage as Bruce Lee, but I mean, for those who don't know, through Eric Paulson's training with Guru Dan Inosanto, who was, I mean, essentially one of Bruce Lee's like first students, right? And I mean, we're not just talking about Inosanto as being that Bruce Lee student, but I mean, what Bruce Lee was bringing to the table was a bit of catch wrestling that he was learning from Judo Jean LaBelle, who trained under some of the catch greats, of the last like 100 years, and then his judo prowess. So yeah, those are the things that run very strong through you guys and girls at CSW. That it's just like, man, that's so cool. You want to watch Bruce Lee movies? You wish like what would Bruce Lee be like now? You want to download his character on UFC 4 or whatever? No, just
come to CSW.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And then,
right?
when Coach Paulson comes in, it's for real. Like when he comes in and teaches the class for us and just gives us his knowledge, it's really like you go home like, oh, I'm gonna write this down because I'm gonna forget, because it is so much, and it's like always something where you're like, oh, I didn't think about that. Like, why wouldn't you just flick your foot up there while their head's gonna go that way? That makes so much sense. So it's really like he's the waterfall and we just drinking from it. Like just all this knowledge just coming. And even Coach is another, like Coach Ben is a whole nother source. And it's like also he's like Paulson's number one student, and he even relates it in a little bit of way where we like talks in our language a little bit. Paulson's an OG and he's dope. And they're both dope. It's just two different ways of learning it, and they're both really cool ways of learning.
Which again, getting different looks, right? And most we know fighters, right? They go to like 4 different gyms, one to get their cardio in, one to get your strength and conditioning in, one to get their jits, one to get their striking, all of that jazz, right? And you guys are fortunate enough that you get it all under one roof. Yeah. But I mean, you're paying for it. I mean, you got to get those rounds in and everything like that. But again, that's a fortunate ability. And it's so funny because just less than 30 years ago, right? You couldn't do all that. I mean, Coach Paulson was looked at as like, people would thumb their nose at him because he was taking and combining. Same thing. Everybody wants to revere Bruce Lee and everything like that, but he was kind of hated through the traditional martial arts community for trying to mix it up. I mean, do striking in a traditional discipline that has been here since the ancient times. Like everybody wants to wear the t-shirts now and all that jazz or whatever, but he wasn't cool. And that was just less than 30 years ago.
It wasn't too long ago at all.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, and the fact that not only is it your pro debut, but you are essentially going into, this is your first, not just outside of California fight, but this is your first out of the country fight.
Yeah. We to be honest, it's like I'm going to Tijuana without a coach for not much money, against someone I don't really know. That's how I'm looking at it. So, but to be honest, it's also another part of me. It's like, if I get in a street fight, it don't matter where you from, we're just going to fight. So me and Jake are going to go over there. We're going to fight this dude. We're going to knock this dude out. We're going to choke him out, whatever we got to do. We're going to finish him. And then we're just going to dip. And that's what Richie's going to do. And that's what these Amis going to do. And it's really just, I'm not trying to be an asshole about it. It's just, we really just been talking about it, and I'm speaking it into existence, and keeping it positive. We put it in the work. So for things not to come together, that would just be weird. So it's going to come together.
No, 100%. You're putting in your work, and it should yield the results, and it already has to an extent. But that's got to be cool, right? You're essentially these, right? These are your tools of the trade, right? That you're going into international territory. Yes, of course, it's only a couple hours away, theoretically speaking. But that's the thing, to take your tools of the trade. If you're an artist, right, like a Van Gogh or Picasso or whatever, that's what you want, to be appreciated, and to be able to have whatever your whatever your art is, make a living and see new sights, right? So, it's got to be kind of cool, right? To
I
be
don't know,
fighting.
because if I go in there and do what I'm gonna do, like if I go there and I do, I do sleep him in the first round, ain't nobody gonna say nothing. And that's what
Yeah.
I love. Like you guys can't say anything. Like nobody can. Like I didn't like my coach told me what to do. I did it and it executed, and that's what happened. And we on to the next. And that's all that's gonna happen. And I've never felt so sure of something because I've never worked this hard. And I really now understand, like it really now it has clicked to me this camp because it's like I feel like I'm busting out like so many sessions. And in my mind, it's like there's no way you're gonna lose. Like there's no way that he's remotely working half as much as me because I feel like I'm working damn near as hard as I can.
No, 1,000%, and it's so crazy, and especially, I mean, you're talking about 4 years. I mean, I think I going back to like fighters rep and everything and kind of talking to you then, I mean, there was a complete, I mean, like I'm talking to a new dude even from when you were on Gym Crashers, and shout out to Gym Crashers and Free Admission Media. Go ahead and subscribe, and congratulations you guys on Submission on the Shore and the Gym Crashers 3-on-3 tournament that happened on Saturday in Galveston, Texas. So shout out to you guys. But yeah, man. But I mean, there's a swagger to you that I don't want to say that wasn't there before because you were definitely intense before. The markings of a great fighter were there, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, there's something that I can feel a switch in you,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah, like I said, like I really did. I felt like I really did go through like a lot of just unnecessary shit last year, and it was so much of it like. I don't want to get too into it, and it's not that it's personal and it's nothing like that, but it's just like I'm gonna get down and go into another wormhole of just all this bullshit. But it's just like at the end of the day, what? Like, am I just gonna sit here and just keep on going remotely through this and get in trouble doing this or not doing that or like I don't know. I was just so over. I just was in such a like just plateau, and then not in everything, but in like the things I cared about. I felt like I was just not getting any better, but I'm not getting any worse, and not getting worse was good enough. Like I'm not gonna get any bad, But and it was like coaching and a couple of my teammates, like they try and tell me like, bro, like what the hell you doing this? Like you should be in here, da da da. And then it's like I'm getting mad because I'm like, oh, like everyone's just hating on me. Like feel like family hating on me, my coach hating on me, Leah hating on me, like so. But I was just really over feeling bad for myself. I'm over not feeling motivated, and even my coach and them like talking to me, it did help me out a little bit. So it was just I'm just want to be my own person. I don't want to let nobody's feelings make me feel some type of way, and I'm not gonna let that happen no more.
No, 100%. And sometimes it can, and this is just life in general, right? And sometimes it happens when you're a kid and you kind of get it. Sometimes it happens when you're way older. I mean, that's kind of the process, right? Where you can, just like how you were saying in terms of like Coach Paulson saying something, but then having it the same thing kind of disseminated through Coach Ben in a way that you can understand. And sometimes it's there, like again, that whole that waterfall, drinking the water type analogy that you did, right? Well, I mean, if you don't want to drink it, there isn't anything that anybody can do.
Other ponds everywhere. That's what I'm saying is you ain't got to be here, and we can tell if you don't want to be here. Like if you're only going to be here, and that's what. And he even cracked down on that, Coach Ben. He was, if you're not going to be here, like if you're going to be late, don't come. If you're not going to come, take the whole week off. And it's like I was already there because we were already in camp, but it's refreshing just to be like, dude, like you really don't have to be here. It's okay. Like you could just be at home. You could chill. But it's like I know all of us don't want that. So and I know it's hard to wake up sometimes in the morning, but it's like once you're there, you're there. And it's just the switch is just I really do. I never thought I could be the greatest of all time. I never thought I could really be like the Michael Jordan of this. And I always thought like that would stop me from being the best that I could be. Like I want to be the best I could be, but I never thought it would still be like a Khabib level, you know.
Yeah.
And even like I didn't want to really say it, and I still like had to tell that to my coach, and I was like, oh, it's okay with me not being, you know, the Michael Jordan of it. I'll be like still being in the UFC. I'll just be a top dude. But even like since doing all this work, like it's just and it's kind of funny because I know I'm gonna hear like my coach be like, oh, like I told you so type thing. But I do like ever since I have been putting this work, like I really have been wanting to be like I want to be the greatest 145er out there, and I do want to fight Max. Like I really want to put it to Max before he leaves, and I want to yell, I'm the best boxer in the UFC type thing. Like and it's really stuff that I've never even thought about. Like I've never thought about really. I'm like, oh well, maybe I could be the best ever. Like I probably could. Who knows, man? And we over here talking on the interview.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, man, that would be gold. I would want nothing, better than you to do it, and then people looking back at this very podcast episode right here, and just
like Connor did. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, no, 100%. You know, when he won the Cage Warriors championship and he won 2 at that, and he was like, "You think this is crazy? Wait until I do that in the UFC." And he did it, and he did it against Aldo and Eddie Alvarez, like 2 of the biggest names that MMA has ever produced. You know, some of the biggest champions that MMA has ever produced, and he did it on some of the biggest stages that MMA has ever done. Right? So, I mean, that's my thing. I want you to do that. I want everybody to say that, right? Because you're putting in too much work just to have it be a hobby.
Yeah, just be like a top 5 UFC guy. Like it's still to me, it's still too much work for that. Like if I'm going to be a top 5 guy, why not just be the number 1?
Right,
exactly where I'm at right now. Like I might as well just be the number 1 dude. Because what's the point of having just 4 dudes in the world be better than me? That shit would drive me crazy. Like I don't want 4 dudes in the gym better than me. Yes. There still are, you know, like there still are so many guys better than me. But it's like just the drive and the hunger, like I don't want that is a switch I've never had up until like 2 weeks of camp. And it's really just like I really am just thankful for like so many people just like being supporting me that I wasn't sure if they were, or if I wasn't sure if they were still there type thing. Like I'm still having like my friends from high school, Cliff over here, and still having, you know, my sister who I see every day on here, and my girlfriend who's literally on the couch still watching.
Shout out to all of them. And
it's really cool to have all that, to be honest.
Absolutely. And I mean, I could use a little love. So if you guys are chiming in on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
That's a love. You're out here killing a workout.
I mean, you guys are already here. I'm just saying. I'm putting out there.
That's over the comment.
No, but I mean, but that's it though. You know, the fact that when you could see, you know, like that championship work, right? You know, to say that you're a Jordan or, you know, like a Khabib or Connor or whatever, you know, it's equal parts. I mean, you could have been getting the same work before, but you realizing what's going on, what's happening in your mind, your body, your soul, what's happening, what is turning over. You know, you could put all the dang gas, you know, in the car you want. You could put premium gas, oil, whatever. If the battery's dead, it ain't nothing gonna happen.
Where you going? What's the point?
This is true, right? So, you know, I want everyone to be a champion. I want, like, because the thing about it is, like, I've even heard from some fighters that, like, I'm just a prize fighter, right? Well, I don't want to be a champion. I don't want to get to the UFC. I'm like, if you're taking the same amount of licks, right? If theoretically speaking, wouldn't it be cool to have a little bit more gold behind you? Because I mean, there's going to be a day where your kids, your grandkids even, you know, are just going to look at that shiny thing in the den and go like, yo, Pop, yo, Ma, like, what is that?
Exactly.
You know? So
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, but that is absolutely it, you know? And again, if you're a prize fighter, theoretically speaking, you win more, you get more, right?
Yeah. So that's crazy to think about, right? But I think a lot of people like don't really. To be honest, I didn't want to admit it. I didn't want to tell my head coach, who is he. And if you don't know him, he's scary. He's very intimidating. I don't want to tell him like, yeah, like I want to put in hard work. And I want to be the greatest I could be. I just don't think it's, you know, that great. I think it's just a top 5. gig. Like, I don't want to say that. And I think a lot of people do, like, and I think a lot of fighters do deal with it. Like, we're humans. Like, you get your ass whooped 2 days in a row, like 2 days in a row. Like, you're gonna think about it, or at least I do. And I'm not too scared. I'm not too scared anymore to just like to talk about it. Like, it does, like, talking about it, because look how it ended up. Like, he just like he really did come up for me, and he's just been there. So it's really cool just to have like a super supportive, like, he's the best coach I've ever had. And it's just super, like, my girlfriend's super supportive, my family's super supportive. Like, I got friends, old friends hit me up, and I got new friends hit me up. Like, not new friends, but like my teammates are still here, and they're still, like, if I don't have someone to hit pads with, another person comes to hit pads after their work, So it's just straight love from everybody, and I just want to show out and knock this dude out for him.
There it is. There it is. And your boy Enzo says, just subscribe. Thank you, good sir.
Yeah.
People be like Enzo. Everybody should be like Enzo.
You asked for it. Come on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So thank you. And my sketchy artist says, one love. Shout out to you, my sketchy artist. You are an MVP amongst MVPs, which I gotta ask, man. I mean, obviously, going into this fight, I mean, we're 24 days out, right? Today's the 1st. It's going down the 25th, right? But there's been a lot of people, not just in your fight camp through this fight, but, I mean, your life, your career, your personal stuff. So let's get some shout-outs out of the way, my man.
Oh, we going to shout-outs.
You know I do.
I do.
Which let me make it easier.
I want to shout so many people out. If I don't shout you out, don't be a little baby. Actually, I gotta be here. Shout out to Love Leaf. It's my boy Christian Brand. Y'all gotta give that a follow. Y'all just gotta check it out. That's my boy. Put all my boys on. Shout out to my boy Rello. If y'all like some rap, go listen to him. He don't like to market himself. He's being dumb. Shout out to CSW. Y'all my boys. We about to kill it. I rapped y'all the whole show, so don't even come over here with your feelings hurt. Let's see. Shout out to my parents. Y'all a blessing. Y'all really been making this easy. Shout out to Adam for having me on here. I wanted to speak this stuff. I wanted to make sure that I can't eat my words. I told you I was gonna knock him out. I told you I'm gonna finish him. That's what we finna do. So shouts out to you. Shouts out to my girl on the couch. She picked me up, made me get on the whole thing, and she really been helping me out too. So, and there's so many people. Shouts out to just all y'all holding the miss for me, and all y'all beating me up. Y'all got me today too. And tomorrow we spar. So, I'm sorry. Shouts out to Coach Dale. He been coming in. He been really working our boxing, and he's been putting in a lot of time with us. And I just remember, because tomorrow we boxing, and I'm gonna try to get y'all. Drake, I'm gonna hit your ass tomorrow. I swear. I'm gonna try to knock you down again. Yeah, I like Drake a lot. There's just something about his face, He's a little
damn.
It's all good. Yeah. I think I got a majority. Oh, shouts out to Cisco. I know you slept out. I know you folded that fool. Come on. I know he probably ain't on you. Shout him out. Francisco Rivera, one of my former teammates at Auburn. He did that thing. And shout out to Jake. He did that too.
Yes.
Oh, hey, you got to get my boy Richie on here. So because
Richie's
quiet, but don't let him fool you, bro.
Guess what? Breaking news: Richie Miranda, El Machete, will be on According to Woods later this week. We're looking at tomorrow, possibly Wednesday. So you definitely got to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to all the shit, because you'll find out here first. So be the MVP. I'm just saying, And yeah, again, shout out to Coach Doyle Roybal. Again, and this is again, Coach Ben's willingness to try out other things, whether it be, bringing in the pinnacle guys and girls, bringing in, Coach Paulson and his knowledge, and bringing in Coach Roybal, because he, that's somebody that he worked with himself, so like, shout out to Dale Roybal, and all of CSM.
It's really a lot to be appreciative for, and I can't ramble on enough. So
shit, yeah, man. But obviously, Slick Nick Patea, you are heading in to, I don't know if it's a ring, I don't know if it's a cage, but it's definitely a
Tijuana. At the same time, my brother.
All right, for sure.
It could be a little parking lot. We gonna scrap, and I ain't gonna be up there with it.
With circles, with the car parked in a circle with the lights on.
Phone booth, bro. It don't. It don't matter. It does not matter, right? You know
But
this.
as you march into wherever the fuck it is, where can people find you on social media to realize you're walking?
Basic, we use Nick underscore Patea on Instagram, and it's just Nick Patea on Twitter, pretty much. I know yours is According to Woods. We gonna shout yours out, right? According to Woods on
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
Y'all know the deal. Come on.
that's
Yeah,
it.
it's Nick Patea on everything. Patea. But yeah.
Oh, you're the Master Oos on Twitter, which I
Oh,
think is
the master.
absolutely
You're right. Hey,
yes,
fuck it.
it's absolutely fucking brilliant, yo.
I appreciate
That's
that. Master.
that's just
Yes, sir.
that's brilliant, my man.
Yeah, Queen, huh?
But again, dude, thank you for doing this. Let's
Bro,
whatever way this goes, we're gonna circle back. Maybe the fucking Monday after, we're gonna go ahead and do a recap.
I'm with that, man.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what we do. And the only way that you guys are going to be able to check out that recap and the many other things, I think we're at 300 episodes right now, just since July, man. So if you want to know and get in the know of what is According to Woods, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Yeah, we're on Twitch, and a couple of you guys already know that. But if you haven't already done so, I mean, Nick subscribed, ain't you?
I am. Oh,
Yes.
I'll just beat him up. We could just make him, you know.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
I'll try.
I'll
I know
take
you
that.
have fans that are fighters, so maybe I'll try.
All right.
PSW versus everyone. Come on.
There it is. There it is.
Come on. Let's
Go
it.
That's what we do.
Everybody.
Everyone. But if you don't take Nick's word for it, if you don't take my word for it, well, guess what? We got Pro Wrestler Zeta Zang.
Hey, this is Zeta Zhang. Make sure